So the first question for today is like a regular expression, and I will demonstrate regular expression with the help of three practical example. Okay. So regular expression, popularly known as regex, and for me, it's a kind of a mini language. It's not something which is a functionality, but it is available in each and every language, not only with Python. If you can use regular expression along with the shell scripting, even if you can use it with JavaScript and all the other languages. But the thing is that, I mean, to be honest with you guys, it's a kind of a scary, right? And the reason it is scary because if you Google about regular expression, you will see a expression like this, which all of you or any one of you who is not aware of regular expression, at first glance, if you encounter these kind of expressions, you will say, okay, I mean, it's pretty difficult to understand what exactly is going on. Okay. So today it is my effort like to explain it to you with the help of some simple example. And this is one website which I use heavily. Let me ping you guys. So whenever I try to build my regular expression, I try to use this website, build my expression, and then use it along in my code. Okay. And the first example I want to show you guys is with the help of a phone number. Okay. I thought about it like whether to use this example to show you guys about regular expression. But the thing is, I mean, again, to be honest with you guys, I have in my 17 years in my career, I have never passed, I mean, phone number from a file or from a log files in my day-to-day work. But the thing is, in order to understand regular expression, this is one of the basic example. And if you build a concept on the top of it, it is much easier for you guys to understand regular expression in the long go. Okay. So let me start it and let me give you some example of phone number. So we all know that a phone number is like 10 digit, right? 10-digit phone number. And this is between here, we are going to use build our regular expression. Okay. Now I can start building a regular expression, or I can wait for you guys if I encountered these kind of a phone number, right? And I need to match it. Okay. Where exactly you guys are going to start? So the question is, I need to match this phone number. Uh, if I need to approach to this problem, from where exactly I'm going to start? So if yes, define the pattern. Oh, exactly. So if you look at this number, I mean this phone number, the thing which I'm seeing it over here, I mean forget about each and everything which we are going to do, but just in the general sense, I'm seeing like 10 numbers, which is between, just in the general sense, it is between 0 to 9, right? The first number is either is 5, 1, 0. So I'm seeing three numbers. Okay, let's first focus on this first line. So we have these three numbers, then we have this hash, then three numbers, then hash, and then three numbers. Okay, and if you look at the bottom one, the similar thing is happening, right? We have these three numbers, then in this case it's called dot, then we have this three number and then dot and then four number. Okay, and rather than me telling you all these pattern type, character classes, repetition group, all these things in one go, let's try to break it based on our problem. Okay, so for the time being, I will tell you that please remember these three at least. Okay, or not at least these three. Let's start with the first one. So in case of a regular expression, if you need to match a number and the number will be between 0 to 9, you need to use something called slash t. So slash t is for any numeric digit. Okay, so let's start building our regular expression. So because my first digit is 5, and I know that in order to match it in a regular expression, I need to use something called slash t. Okay, then I have one more digit, slash t, and then I have one more digit called slash t. Okay. And then I have this hyphen. Okay, then I have three more digits, slash t, slash t, slash t. Then I have one more hyphen. then slash t, slash t, slash t, slash t. Okay. I'm just focusing on the this first phone number. Let's forget about the second phone number for the time being. Okay. So this matched everything, like at least the first phone number for me. Okay. This is really basic, but any doubts so far so that I will jump into the second part, matching the second phone number. Okay. So we have matched the first phone number, right? Now, the main difference between the first phone number and the second phone number is that in the first phone number we have this hyphen, and in the second phone number we have this dot, right? So at this stage, I don't know anything about regular expression. Let's say this is the first time I'm building the regular expression. So I put a dot over here. Okay. Second place, I put a dot over here. Okay. But it is not matching anything. Okay. My idea is like the moment I put dot, it is going to match either this hyphen or this dot. But if you see the moment I put dot here, so let's remove dot from here. Before that, it was matching at least the first phone number. But the moment I put here dot and this dot, it stopped matching anything. Okay. Anyone know why is that is happening? So the thing is, dot has a special meaning in regular expression. So if you look at this dot, dot matches any character except new line. So dot is really, really dangerous. So if I, just for the timing, if I remove this hyphen out of here, this hyphen out of here, and I just put dot here, dot means everything except new line. So if I add a new line here, new line means this space, right? It is not going to match this, except that it is going to match everything. So what is the problem in that everything? Okay, so let's say I write a new phone number, let's say 510, anything, 124. It is even going to match this phone number. But my intention is only to match these two phone numbers. But because we have a dot over here, which has a special power, which matches everything except the new line, adding a dot over here, over there is going to be a really, really dangerous. Okay. Any confusion so far? So now my question is how I will make sure that I'm only going to match something which is this hyphen and dot and not match this extras, right? Dot I need to match literally because I have a dot over here. But at the same time, I don't want to match this asterisk. Anyone know how to achieve this? So my question is like, I only want to match these two phone numbers, not this last one. We need to use something called character class. And characters class starts with this hyphen. Okay. And here I will put this and this. Okay. This means either it can be dot or either it can be this hyphen. So if in these three phone number, if I only wants to match anything which having a dot or hyphen, then character class, I mean, it's a kind of a or, right? A phone number with, for example, 510 hyphen, or a phone number is 510 dot dot. And same thing, I have done it over here. Okay. But still this regular expression seems to be longer to me, right? Is there any way I can make it little bit more concise? So yeah, I'm able to match this phone number, but this expression seems, I mean, that what we are used to do in a programming, right? We used to write a program, but then we are going to make it more optimum or concise. Is there any way I can do it with this regular expression? So for that, you need to understand something called this curly braces, which says exactly integer k occurrence. Okay, what do I mean by that? So here in this case, I know a phone number is always been separated. Like the first digit is always going to be 3, right? Then we have these 3, and then we have these 4. I mean, this is just a standard pattern, right? Everywhere in the world, I believe the phone number is of 10 digits. So I know that the pattern, this digit is going to repeat 3 times. So what I can do is is this. So it is still going to do the same thing which it was doing earlier, but this look like a more concise and optimum way to represent this one. Okay. So this is going to work where I know, okay, exactly we have this 3 digit. Okay. But think of it, I mean, I'm just going to take one bogus phone number. Let's say I have a number something like that, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 5, 6, 3, whatever it is. So in this case, I have just one digit. Let's say I will take one more phone number, which is like 3, 4, and anything. Okay. I know this is not a valid number, but just throwing an idea, this may be a possibility. So here I know that the first digit can either be one digit, or it can be 2 digits. Okay. So in this case, you can even give a range. I can say the first can be either one number or it can be 3 numbers. Similarly, the second one, I can give it like 2 digit or 3 digit. Okay. For this one, I can say it can also be 1 to 3, and it can also be 1 to, here in this case, it can be 1 to 5, right? Because I mentioned 5 numbers over here. Okay. And still it is not matching asterisk because we haven't have asterisk in the character class. So if I add asterisk over here, okay, why the asterisk is not matching? Okay, I will debug that one. Range value reversed. Okay, let's put it simple way right now. But you guys understand the concept, right? That this is a much more optimum or concise configuration rather than mentioning something like 3, like if the digit repeat 1, 2, 3 times, we can do it like this. If it repeat 1, 2, 3 times, we can do it like this. Okay. So this is how we mesh our first regular expression. Okay, so let's look at the second regular expression, and this is much more of a practical example that you will encounter while try to in your in your day-to-day job or in as a part of a DevOps workflow. So let's say I have these 3 email. I mean, I have a log file in which I have these different email. Okay, and the email can be of different patterns. So if you look at the first email, it is just the first name, last name, and the email ID, right? I mean, the email suffix or whatever the extension it is. The second one is name, but I have a dot over here. Then the surname, and then at the rate ABC and whatever it is. The third one is a little bit complicated where I have the name, I have the numeric digit, then I have the hyphen in between, then again the name, at the rate, in between this, I have this hyphen .NET. Okay. So if I need to match this one, right, where exactly I'm going to start? I will pause here for a second. So the way we have built the regular expression last time to match a phone number, if I need to approach to this problem, where exactly I'm going to start? And like I mentioned earlier, don't try to like match all regular expression or all the match in one go. Try to break it into up line by line. So first try to match this first one. Once this has been matched, move to the second one and then the third one. So in this case, how you are going to match this first email ID? Yeah, Himanshu, at the rate is mandatory, right? But at the rate is later, right? First, I need to match this name. How can I do that? And we have just spoke about it I mean, in the previous question where we matched the phone number. So again, we will start with the character class. Okay. And we know character class can be A to Z. Okay. Then in order to match something like at the rate is a special character. So we need to do something called escape. So wherever you see this hyphen sign means escaping it. I mean, try to remove the special meaning out of this. So if you look at this one, even in the bottom, you see this hyphen at the rate, escaped character, which matches at the rate, which means try to match this character literally. Okay. Then we again have this A to Z. Okay. Then we have the special character dot, and then again A to Z. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me this looks correct, right? We have this name, we have this at the rate, then we have this Gmail, and then we have this special character dot, which we have escaped, and then we have com. Why it is not matching the first email ID? Our regular expression seems to be correct, right? Yes. Yes. So if you look at here, the Prashant, in the case of Prashant, the P is capital, and even this Lakera is capital. And we have just specified this character class for alphabet, which is in a small case. So what exactly we need to do is A to Z. Okay. And still it is not matching it. So there's few more things which we need to do to match this character. Anyone know what exactly is that? That's why I said we will going to refer this talk again back and forth. Okay. So just in the interest of time, we need to add something called plus. And here to plus, and last time is plus. David, I will be really careful using asterisk and dot. The reason for that, those are really, really powerful. So asterisk means 0 or more time, and dot means matches any characters, right? And those are really dangerous. Like in the last example, we have seen that the phone number, even the phone number which we don't want to match, if we put asterisk dot over there, it is going to match that number. So what we are want to do is like, okay, we need to write a regular expression, but at the same time, we don't want to match each and everything. We just want to match those things which we want to match. So that's why plus means one or more. So what it is trying to do, if the following things happen in these cases one or more time at least, then only it's going to match. Otherwise, don't match it. Okay. And that's what the use of this plus. One or more. If you want something to negate it, then we need to use question mark. And that's we are going to see in the next example. How can we use a question mark? Okay. So now if you see that our regular expression, at least the first entry is matching, right? Anyone can tell me what is missing in the second entry? You can see on the screen itself, but why it is not matching the second email ID? Yes, the special character, which is this dot. So if I can put dot over here, it is going to match the second email ID too. Exactly. Now you guys know, like it is matching the first one, second one. Now let's try to match the third one, which is a little bit complicated. So what is the first thing I need to put in this first match to match this email ID? Yes, I can put numeric. So the same way we have put it all the A to Z alphabet, I can put 0 to 9 also to match all the numeric digit. There is one more thing still which is missing. So we are able to match A to Z, we are able to match A to Z, 0 to 9 dot. There is one thing which is still missing. Yes, yeah. Thanks, David. this guy, right? We have this hyphen in between this first name and numeric, and between this numeric and hyphen. Similarly, if you see in dev hyphen ops, we have this hyphen, which need to be put over here. So now you see we will be able to match this entire regular expression or all these three email ID. Okay. We will take one more example and then we will jump directly into the Python code, like how to use this regular expression in our Python code. Yeah, Himanshu.
Prashant, you mentioned that if we use dot, then we are satisfying all the characters. So, like, why doesn't it work in this time? Like in the third example, like we have hyphen is there. So, like,
Because dot is inside the character class. If you're going to put dot
okay,
outside the
okay,
character
okay,
class,
okay, okay,
then it
okay.
will match
Got
everything.
it, got it, got it. Sorry, sorry. Correct, correct.
But character class is like a kind of a or. Either it will match this.
Yeah, yeah, got it.
Okay. So this is one use case which you are going to use in your day-to-day life. For example, someone is going to give you a log file, and in that log file, you need to pass the email ID, or you need to pass a username and whatever the email ID associated with it. Okay. Now let's look at our third example, and then we are going to move to the one of the example which I have showed you during the shell scripting session is to parse the to parse the IP address. But before that, I want to give you one more, which is this. And this is one more use case which you might encounter in your, again, day-to-day work, or in the question in the interview, they will ask you this question. So we have this four uh, website, right? Or the FQDN, which is present in your logs, right? So you need to parse those logs and try to get all these, anything which is starting with this HTTP or HTTPS. You need to parse the logs and try to get these information out of those logs. And information means a website, right? So again, we will start building our regular expression. So if I give you this regular, I mean, I will give you an example of a log file after this one. But let's say you have given a log file and you need to parse this value out of the log file. And once again, guys, please try to focus on the first entry and then let's move downward, right? So if I just need to match this first entry, https www.google.com, how I am going to approach to this problem, how you guys are going to build the regular expression for this. So, okay. So like I mentioned, let's forget about all these three entries for the time being. Okay. I just focus on the first one. So I will say HTTPS. Okay. Right, Himanshu. Right. Okay. Okay. Because we have already seen all the other regular expression. Let me try to introduce one more concept here. Okay. So first thing is HTTP, right? HTTPS, the first entry. But we are seeing that in some of the cases we have HTTPS and some of the cases we have HTTP. Do anyone know, like I've already showed you one of the example, the use of plus. The plus means if one or more time, if the following entry, which we are trying to match, if it's repeating one or more time, the way we have seen in the case of our email ID. Now, this is a different case. Here we have S in some cases. HTTP is sure, right? HTTP is there in each and every case. But S is present in some cases and S is not present in some cases. Do anyone know how to negate that this thing might present or might not present? How to write a regular expression for that? So we will use question mark. And what question mark is going to do? It's going to do it 0 or 1. Either the entry before that, which is S in this case, if it is present, it is fine. If it is not, then we are still going to match the following regular expression. Okay. Then we have colon. This guy. The problem with this, these are also again a special characters. So what exactly we need to do? we need to escape. So with that, we will be able to match the first part of the regular expression, right? Now the second part is, again, we have www in some cases, first or second, and we do not have a www in other cases. So the same way, either I can put it inside this and I will say, okay, either this will exist or this will not. Again, I put a question mark, which makes it presented 0 or 1 time. So far we have matched up to this www, right? Now it's up to you guys how you want to match the rest of the part. Can anyone tell me how we will match this Google dot and then .com? We have already seen it, right? It's pretty straightforward. Exactly. Yep. So what we can do is write something like A to Z and then make it question mark so that it will repeat one or more time, dot A to Z plus. Or we can try something different over here, which is so anyone know why it is not matching? We have this www.google.com. So first one, it is matching. This one, we are making it either it is going to present or not. Then we have, oh, okay, I know why it is not matching. Okay, I will tell you, but anyone know why it is not matching? I can put it back, this one guy. I don't know why I put W. Yeah, but let me show you W also. So far, we have only spoke about digit. Anyone know why it is not matching?
Yeah, for www we don't have like anything for dot. Yeah.
Exactly. And I have introduced something called W over here. So in case of regular expression, if you do not want to remember a lot of things, just remember at least few things. One is hyphen D. Hyphen D, like I mentioned in case of phone number, it is going to match any numeric digit. Okay. The second one is hyphen S. S stand for white space character. So it can be space, new line, or tab. So what do I mean by that? So for example, if I have a text called ABC, then CDE. So if I need to match the space between these, like after ABC, we have this space that I can do with the help of this hyphen S, the space. And then we have this hyphen W. So it will match A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9 underscore that are not space. So if you remember one of the example where we write all these character classes, rather than writing this whole bunch of character classes, I can just specify hyphen W. But again, I will be really cautious while using this hyphen W. And the reason for that, for example, let's look at this case. Here, I know that my domain name, I mean, at least the end of my domain name is always going to be .com, which is A to Z, right? Or if somebody mistyped it, it's going to be capital com, right? It can be google.com or it can be com, right? It can never be any numeric digit. Like no one is going to put www.google.com.google.123, right? It's always going to be a number. So always a good idea is to put character classes, right? I know the reason is not matching because we have this capital, this guy. So always try to put character classes to be specific. But in some of the edge cases where you know that you have this A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, and this, you can use this hyphen W. Okay. I mean, you can read this complete blog and I give a lot of information, but try to at least remember this for your interview point of view or for your day-to-day work. And at least this plus question mark, the exact or the number of occurrence, try not to use dot or asterisk too many places it at too many places in your regular expression. And there are a bunch of other things, but I will try to go into the more of a one last practical example before we move to our next question. Okay. So now let's try to see this with the help of a Python. Okay. And let's say I have this log file, which is a pretty simple log file, where I have this IP address at the first place, right? And so far, I guess you guys know how to mesh the IP address, right? If I gave you this IP address and I ask you guys to match it, how you guys are going to match it. And then we will see how to do it with the help of regular expression. So with the help of Python. So if I just need to match this IP address, how can I approach? Okay. So we have just seen that we have /d, right? And /d is for visit, right? So we can do /d, and we saw the use of this curly braces. And we have seen that IP address can be 192.168.1.101. It can be 1.2.3.4, or it can be 98.3.23.45.35, right? So the first digit can be of like can be repeated one time like this, or it can be two time or three time. It can't be more than three, right? You can't have an IP address like 1733. The first subnet value is always be like three digit. Then we have this escape, right? Need to escape the dot because dot has a special meaning. Let's repeat this three times. And because the last piece we do not have the dot, we have this simple regular expression. Is okay? Okay. If that is fine, we have this Apache logs, and we need to mesh this with the help of our Python script. And the same thing you guys can do it for your the phone number match or the email ID match or the Apache or the HTTP or the website that we have meshed it so far. Anyone know the name of the module that we can use in case of Python to match any regular expression? Like yesterday, we have seen that first thing which we need to do, yes, David's correct. So the name of the module is called RE, which will match a regular expression. Okay. The next thing which we need to do is like, okay, we have imported the module. Now we have all the functionality which is available with this module present. The next thing which we need to do is to open a file, right? From where exactly we need to parse the log. So for that, I have this Apache underscore logs file. Apache underscore log. So basically, I'm just reading this file. And I'm going to take a file handle as F. We have already spoke about all these things yesterday, right? And then I'm going to read this file line by line. So all of you guys who do not understand Python, basically what I'm doing it over here is that if I will ask you guys to get this IP address out of this file, what you are going to do? You are just going to go to this file, read it, and just going to parse the output one by one, right? First, you will go to this line. Let's say I will copy this one, this entry. Then I will go to this line. I will copy this entry. So same thing I'm doing it over here. I'm just going it line by line and just copying this, reading this file. Okay. Then the important part, which is regex. And regex we already seen that we have already built it over here, which is this one. So we have already built our regular expression, and that is the most difficult part because this thing you are going to do it for each and every file. The important part is to build the regular expression. Now, because we are listing our requirement is to get the IP address out of it. Let me put any variable IP list or whatever the variable. This regular expression RE has a method called findAll, which accept two arguments. You can see it over here, but okay, let me show you. The first thing is the regex. and where exactly this regex need to be implemented. And that need to be implemented on this f dot field, right? So basically, once the each line comes from this file, it is going to implement this regular expression to this to this line, the regular expression that we have built. And you just need to print the output. Let's see how this goes. So we have this test.py. See, you will get all the IP addresses. So similarly, the way we are getting the IP address over here, I mean, here we are matching it, right? But similarly, with the help of this simple Python script, you can get the IP address. Once again, the most difficult part is to build the regular expression. Hopefully by now, by looking at those 4 practical examples, you see that how you can build the regular expression. But after that, it's going to be a really simple use case. I have in my LinkedIn, one of the LinkedIn posts, I have mentioned like what other things you can do. So for example, you can count the number of times the particular IP address is repeating. Okay. And even I showed you with the help of shell script, we can extend this just to a Python script that if that IP, so for example, if this particular IP is repeating like n number of times, like let's say this IP is repeating 5 times. So block that IP, put it under the IP tables. Okay, drop rule that you can do. Other thing you can do, count this number of IP. So let's say this IP is repeating 5 times. Put it in a CSV file for further processing to see what exactly you can do with this kind of thing, this IP. So these are just some of the ideas which I want to give you, but the difficult part is to get the IP out of that file. So the same way I have shown you, like this thing, you can apply it for filtering the website, filtering the email address, filtering the phone number. But now you have the basic concept out of which you can build any of your Python code. Okay.